The 19th Amendment, 100 years later.
Coverage presented by the National Constitution Center.
At the turn of the last century, a movement was gaining momentum in America, focusing on getting women the right to vote. But as KYW's Hadas Kuznets reports, not everyone was behind it.
As the idea of the new woman emerged in the early 20th century, Ann Krulikowski, associate professor of American history at Westchester University, says women began to become a little more independent. They dressed more casually, participated in sports, rode bicycles.
By the turn of the century, a lot of those strict Victorian gender boxes were starting to dissolve.
And Penn history professor Kathy Pice says as women's roles began to be redefined, some began to internalize what those changes meant.
I think they were worried about making the country more unstable by destabilizing the family.
National Constitution Center exhibit developer Elena Popchuk.
They just thought it would be an apocalyptic change to society if women exited the domestic sphere and went to vote once or twice a year.
But Penn political science professor Dawn Teal says it wasn't just men who were against suffrage.
Women who were against suffrage, some of them were worried that it was going to threaten women's economic well-being to have women participating in politics and, be expected to earn income.
And the economic impact of suffrage was also a concern for tavern owners. Laurie Ruffini, Chester County archivist, says a connection was made between suffrage and the temperance movement, the goal of which was to get men to stop drinking and ultimately ban alcohol.
Domestic violence was a real issue, and they saw alcohol tied to that.
Some were opposed to suffrage for unconventional reasons, like anarchist political activist Emma Goldman.
Because she believed women were more liable to legislate morality.
But even among those who wanted the vote, Pice explains many were not in favor of suffrage for all women.
Many suffragists who were white did not support the idea of black women or black people in general having the right to vote.
Hadas Kuznets, KYW News Radio.